Let's check it. All right. All right. Check it. Check it. Check it. Okay. Okay. Check it. Okay. Here we go. All right. It's Uncle Makara. Back at it again with another video. Wow. Lightning Sprite. Sprite. Can you hear it? I can hear it. Oh, we got the Vajra Gang live and direct from the other side of the world. I am streaming live right now, and I am in Kolkata, India, of all places. The weather outside is very strange, and there's a lot of black kites and hawks circling around almost in an upward spiral. So we know this is going to be a banger, right? We know this is going to be a really good one, right? With a lot of wisdom tsunamis and a lot of just epiphanies on your side. Okay. I want you to get these breakthroughs, these epiphanies, these downloads coming through. Now is the time to understand all of them, to really get it, to really share with others. All right, let's make this no, it's not made for kids. Okay. 18 and older. Okay, we're going to be talking about a lot of groundbreaking information here. Okay. Unless you're under our supervision, okay? Unless you're under our supervision. So, all right, cool. Let me just share this with the tribe real quick. The spiritual Avengers real quick. The spiritual Jeet Kune Do dojo real quick. Spiritual Jeet Kune Do, bro. Okay. Okay. All right, mains, let's get started. Okay, transmuting financial shadows for future ascended masters. Okay, what do we want to really start talking about here? Now, the shadow, okay, the way you think of the shadow is going to define your shadow. Okay, so when you are trying to classify anything, demonize anything, vilify something, it's usually from the shadow. Okay. Now, your shadow is basically like saying your subconscious or unconscious mind. Okay. That's a simple way of understanding this thing called shadow work. And what practitioners like myself and many others do is we help you make the unconscious conscious for spiritual, but also consciousness expansion. Okay. Which is really helpful for a lot of us because when we disown different parts of ourselves and we label them as wrong and we label them as inferior, we start to create a projection of that. So whatever we repress, we project. Okay. And it's very interesting because earlier I would be in this combative mentality of I am not that, I am not that, I am not that. Nowadays, I'm more able to recognize I am that, and I am that. Okay. So my consciousness has become almost a different kaleidoscope to look through. It's taken on a different perspective entirely than the normative one. You see, my parents are doctors. You guys get that, right? So originally they have a Newtonian understanding of science, right? And this is where I come in, is almost like the glitch in this matrix, right? What? I know. We work with a lot of thunder beings too, so they're very excited. I know, guys. Okay, there's a lot emerging. Okay, and the Lion's Gate is still, the energy's still alive. Okay, don't forget. It is still Abundance August. I still do want you to walk into a store, an expensive store, and try something on and put it back. I want you to have that experience, okay? So if you haven't done that ever, force yourself to do it. Push yourself to do it, okay? It's not going to feel good, but then report it back to me, okay? Report it back to me, and then I'll break it down for you even further, what that means or what the next steps are from there. But I want to know your experience because I had a very interesting experience with that I wanted to bring up. We hold a lot of resistance towards certain brand names as they also get um, bad ideas or bad people talk about them or boycott them in media, or they become almost like pushed away from the conscious experience of humanity, right? It gets sent to the underground in a way, it gets sent to the shadows. Now, why do I have Scrooge McDuck back here, just enjoying his wealth? I think this is just a beautiful scene of understanding. Like, this is what we can do if we truly access our shadow gold, in a sense, okay? Our golden shadow. I think this is so important because this imagery is just so symbolic, right? Because money to us means survival and freedom. Okay, let's start there. Oh, we didn't tell him it was going to be one of these ones today. Okay. Dang, Ryan G, we didn't tell him, bro. It's going to be one of these. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the Oracle deck. Okay. The Divine Master's Oracle card deck. So let's go. What do we need to hear most? Hilarion, be seen. Let the world know your gifts. Okay. This is a great place to start. Thank you, Hilarion. I think this is powerful because I already understand that when I was much younger, I used to have these premonitions or these intuitions, these little downloads, but I wouldn't tell anybody, right? I kept it all inside of me. And once I kept it all inside of me, it was basically just there in my subconscious, right? It's just there in the back of my subconscious mind, right? All of these hidden gifts, psychic epiphanies, um, weird brain hacks that I could discover. And it wasn't until I was away from my parental household in college, when I moved away for the first time, that I started to really notice and envision that I'm making my life a performance art piece. Like, I'm going to be a different person each day, and let me try on the attributes of that archetype. So one day I'd be like a skater dude, right? The next day I'd be like a goth dude. The next day I'd be kind of like new age, edgier. The other day I'd be like sort of like an old school pimp look, okay? Um the next day I'd just be like a rock star look, like, and so I would experiment, right? I put myself into this space, which was the space allowed me to do that shit, right? It's like the Burning Man of all colleges in the world, almost, in the sense where I went to college was Bennington College, okay? If you've ever heard of it, shout out Peter Dinklage, okay, who went there as well. Um, okay. Yes, the man with dwarfism from Game of Thrones. Okay. Okay. So Saint Hilarion, master healer in the temples of Atlantis. Okay. Born to pagan parents in Syria in 4th century AD. He studied in Alexandria, where he converted to Christianity. Then he dedicated his life to spiritual pursuits. At the tender age of 15, after hearing the miracles of St. Anthony, he went off into the desert hermitage for 2 months. Okay. He craved personal space, but the hermitage was busy, so he decided to go back home. But after his parents had passed, he gave up all his worldly possessions and retreated to a cave in the wilderness. Hilarion spent the majority of his life away from humanity because he was a highly sensitive being. Man, this is my life story. He was a highly sensitive being who picked up energies of those he came close to. It is said that those who came to his cave experienced miracles, including barren women becoming pregnant and people overcoming mental and other health challenges. Now Hilarion's soul helps light workers embrace their gifts and emerge from the cave of sensitivity. Dang, okay. So if you're a soft, whiny little light worker, okay, You're still floating into the clouds and rainbow lands, which is fun. Okay, I'll give you that. Okay. But after a while, sometimes you got to face the truth. And if you're having a difficulty with this part of you or this darkness of yourself or of the planet, highly recommend working with Hilarion's energy. As it came up, it's aligned for all of us. Okay. So whoever is drawn to this energy today, whoever's watching, whoever's experiencing this live or watching the replay later, I want you to really consider your relationship with Hilarion and this personal journey. Okay. Because I understood I had to desensitize myself to certain aspects of myself, but then my gifts were gone. What happened to those gifts, right? And so then I had to resensitize after I desensitized. That makes sense, okay? So this is a very powerful portal energy right now, and I want you all to just break the patterns, right? You got to break these old cycles, and that's what we're doing with the shadow work right now and today. Because this is such a powerful download that I had even just a week ago. About a week ago. Okay. Guys, can we check if the live chat is working? Can someone type in fire emoji or something? Hmm. Okay. It doesn't matter who's watching live. It could be like, my English teacher from college or something is watching. It don't matter. It don't matter. Okay. Whoever is watching right now. I want to say this because this is very, very profound. Your reflection is the light of your consciousness. You are like a mirror in this world. This is a mirror dimension. Okay. In the right brain online. Yep. And the unconscious is essentially this absorption thing, this energy of, because entropy, if you really look at entropy, right, guys, we understand it as a way that we see past through new eyes. Okay. Now, entropy, the example of entropy, is a very, very interesting thing because a lot of shadow and chaos is interlinked, is interwoven with each other. So, first of all, we got to understand, hey, Aaron, is genius is hitting a target that others cannot see. Okay? So, everybody is meeting the targets, but what are the targets that you cannot consciously see? It's you don't know what you don't know, right? It's that. That's what we're looking at. But what society does is socializes us, right? We were very tribal caveman beings, right? Cavemen or cave women beings until we socialized, found out hierarchies, we found out rules, we found out ways to move throughout culture and time. And I think we still have this primal mind alive because again, money is associated to survival. Okay. And we have this internal drive for survival. And we do this through spending money. Okay. We do this through making money. Okay. So when you ask yourself these questions, I want you to really reflect on this. Okay. And you might not like the first answer that comes up, but try it anyway. Okay. Challenge your mind, challenge your brain to do this. Okay. So the question you ask your subconscious mind, let's take a few deep breaths. Okay. At least 3. So inhale, hold at the top of the head, exhale out through a sound. 2 more. Let's do 2 more. We want to go slightly internal for this. Hold at the top of the head. Exhale. And lastly, inhale and hold at the top of the head. And exhale. Good. Now ask yourself, why is success not for me? Okay. Write it down. Whatever comes up, don't judge it. Okay. This is your subconscious mind giving you an answer, random answer, right? It doesn't have to make sense even. Be a color, a sound, a weird symbol, right? A random archetype you got. But these shadow work questions will bring something up to the surface. Okay. You have to trust in that, whatever that thing is. Okay. So if you really want to transmute your financial shadows, you got to understand, why is success not for you? Because you would have had success if it wasn't for some of these factors. Okay. It hurts. It's tough work to do. That's why nobody wants to do it. But if you guys are willing to lean into this and into your shadows, we're not going to break dance around the subject. Okay. We're just going to go right into it, man. Because this is the stuff that people really need. Like, ask yourself, why am I not good enough? Why do I feel so empty inside? Right? Again, your subconscious will give you some answers. Write it down and process it in your own time. Okay, bookmark it away somewhere. If you don't write it down, you're not going to make it precise. It's going to be this way vague, amorphous blob in your mind that's difficult to comprehend at times. It'll come out in weird, unhealthy ways. So you might as well release, let go. Dobby is free, master. Yes, get the fuck out of here now, Dobby. Right? Okay, here's a gift sock or whatever, right? In that movie. But irregardless, you got to understand, man. Understanding precedes love, right? We try to give ourselves self-love, self-love. We talk about self-love, but what about self-understanding? Can we understand ourselves? Can we comprehend what's really going on beneath the surface of our minds? Okay. And this is where the real journey starts, because you stop judging everything that you attract into your life, whether it be negative or positive. Okay. You stop judging it. You just observe it. You just allow it. Okay. It's like you can become a vapor and then you can become a solid. Okay. And then you can become liquid. You're solid, liquid, and gas. Okay. You're the formlessness that gives form. Okay. So from the formlessness, that's your subconscious, that's the hidden realms, right? Your inner hell, you can think of it. The heaven is a superconscious, right? You're pulling up all of these different things, right? From your internal underworld, your undersoul, we could call it. Okay. You have an oversoul that's going up, undersoul is going down. Okay. This is kind of an idea of heaven and hell, but a lot of different pantheons have different understandings, right? There's different lokas, maybe, or there's different even dimensions of this plane, right? There's not just one. There's many different, you know, lower and then lower realms and then lower astral realms and then different like floaty entities where they're just so formless and you can't even tell, right? And then they start to take on more and more and more and more form based on the perception of the shaman, right? Of the person doing this kind of trance work, where you're bringing yourself into an altered state of mind. Okay. So trance channeling is a very powerful thing for me, at least, because I'm able to not only ask these wealth deities, right, and different beings to help me out with my wealth and money management, but also giving myself the right purchases that give me this ultimate character that I'm building. It gives me the understanding of how to link forces and join forces with other superhuman individuals, right? And I say superhuman not in a way to sound braggadocious in any way, but really to say that, hey, man, you got to look, you got to transcend the humanity paradigm sometimes to be able to really see this. fully, not to dehumanize yourself or ultra humanize yourself in a way. However, I work in the peak performance industry, guys, right? So I've always started to look in the spiritual world with depth, with that same level of competition that you would have in academic field, right? Like Indians in the around the world, they're so pushed towards academics. But what if they could put that same push, okay, into their ancient hidden Vedic powers? Okay. Their Mahabharata codes that they will awaken through actually living, right? And being the type of person that you truly prefer. You see, I had to build this guy because earlier on, I noticed the negative stereotypes against Indians, right? I observed it all. Okay, curry, you smell bad. Okay, hairy. Okay, these are all things we can fix, right? I don't know. I don't think curry needs fixing, but in any case, right? If it's, hey, hire a chef for that shit, okay? But besides that point, man, it's like, hey, wear deodorant, you shave, okay? You take care of it. It's like, listen, man, the world is too constricting in its information timeline, right? And potential. But look at the top CEOs of the planet or whatever, they're all Indian, right? So there's certainly something there. I agree that there is something there in the belief system that allows for this kind of transmission to take place in the heart of an Indian man or woman, right? Who's going forward with entrepreneurship and so forth. I truly understand it. It comes through the survival values, right? And the replication values, right? It does come through those two things because wealth is an indication that you are giving value in the physical world in some way. And if you feel like you're earning money without giving value, that's where you feel like your soul is being taken by this thing. That's why you're like, oh, money is the root of all evil. Money is this, money is that, because you feel this resistance against that world, almost like you've created an archetype of this bad person that you're pushing away in regards to making money, right? Like, hey, I'm not telling you to be a drug stealer. I'm telling you to be a vibe stealer. Okay. There's a big difference. You're not just like cocaine hit, being the motivational guy or woman, but you're like, okay, let me create this ecstatic moment right now. Okay, let me feel good within my physical body. I can do that anytime, baby. I got to understand the internal circuitry to this tapping in process, right? And I can enter different worlds through my body language and through sounds and different elements that I create, whether it be changing my voice or allowing myself to do certain things, right? And moving my body in different ways. And this is what we don't allow for. The dojo, the theater, this moment of you just completely shedding that persona, right? That weird social mask you wear, just completely shedding it, right? Let me see. From my own observation, European women on average more hairy than Indian women, but because of the lighter shade of body hair, most of the time they cannot be seen from far ahead or in picture. Okay, interesting perspective. Okay. Not sure what it has to do with what we're talking about, but sure. Okay. So, how are you spending money and how are you making money? Okay, those are the two things to look at. Because a lot of us, what we do is we associate the idea of struggle with goodness, right? And then we create this kind of weird moral superior high ground if we've worked harder than others. Okay. I just put in more work than you, man. I just work harder than you, bro. Okay. It's like the grandpa who's like still in the war days or whatever, telling the stories, right? You guys are all simps, right? Or whatever he's saying. Back in my day, we used to. Okay. That's where that comes from. So, hey, man, Charisma, what are you talking about, right? Now we're going too far. It's like, hey, posture up, right? Which means straight backbone. Imagine you have angel wings. Imagine you're like Superman with a cape, right? Boom. Then you have that spark in your eyes. What is that? That comes through presence. Okay, that comes through presence. That comes from you got to do the Sith breath once in a while. Okay, the Darth Vader breath. Notice how it feels. Inhale, exhale out, but like a right. Good, really good. So remember, you got to understand that who you're around. Let's say you're around your parents. You're with your parents. Okay, you're living in their home. You're going to get some of their money stories coming in. Okay, we can't afford that. Stop wasting money like this. That's not going to be useful for you. It's like they know the best. They know better than you how to spend than you know how to spend, right? And that's might be taking out your time, your patience, your just enjoying life, just feeling open, just feeling free. Always feeling like there's a looming pair of eyes, watching you at your every move, like above you, right? That's the idea that most people feel like that. They're feared into a relationship rather than having a genuine, sincere, connection. And this is what I've dropped, man. I've dropped that weird fear in the back of my mind. And like, I'm starting talking to my parents about random stuff, right? That align with my vision in life, right? My father has this extensive Buddhist knowledge, right? And my mother, she has great knowledge about sex, right? She's a gynecologist, right? So she's a woman's doctor, and she has all this stuff that I haven't. By the way, guys, you need to read this book. If you are a man who wants to give a woman pleasure, buy this book right now. Okay. It's called She Comes First. She Comes First, I believe. Um, it's a very powerful eye opener, bro. When you go through that book, you're gonna be like, wait a second, what the fuck? I've been doing this shit all wrong, right? Like that book changed my paradigm around sex and sexuality, actually. And I'm a sacral chakra path working. So it was very transformative, very profound for me because I hadn't been able to piece together my erotic blueprint archetype of the shapeshifter before actually reading that book, right? Um, it gave me a different paradigm, at least. Let's just say this. And I mean, damn, power to you, ladies. Okay. Clit power. Yay. Okay. Amazing, right? You can just have orgasms at one after another, after another, after another, after another. I'm jealous of that, bro. You women have penis envy. I have that multiple orgasm envy. How can you be in bliss and pleasure and playfulness all the time, women? Dang, right? So free, so open. But then the society masculinizes all of us, right? In a way, weird way. Not masculinizes in the proper sense, but structuralizes, forms into boxes, forms into constructs. Like you have to do it like this, exactly like that, right? In the military, discipleship of that, right? Which is useful, definitely, in getting a job done from point A to point B. What would you rather have, right? Would you have masculine energy guiding you or feminine energy guiding you if you wanted to go from point A to point B? Now, what if you had to do something creative and innovate and go more into that world? You need that feminine essence, that feminine energy to bring in that craft, right? It's like the boat itself is the masculine energy, the ocean is the feminine. You see? So it's even the front of the body masculine, back of the body feminine. There's stuff like this, right? That we have to understand the yin, the yang. But yang has a little bit of yin, and yin has a little bit of yang in it too. So if you are just purely 100% masculine man and you don't have that little bit of femininity, you're not going to be able to empathize with others, connect with others, create love, share stories, any of that stuff, man. Okay. So you need a little bit of that essence in you. Okay. Now, yeah, exactly, bro. By Ian Kerner. Yep, that's the one. Change my fucking mindset. I've read it and seen it all, right, guys? Like, I've honestly been a self-help junkie for a long time before I really started to double down and integrate all this stuff into my own system, right? That's when I understood that, okay, now these things are finally piecing together and working because I'm able to integrate all of it and not have these weird, like, side quests kind of I start and stop, you know? Like, fuck that thing, you know, whatever that was back then. It's like I'll start something and then I won't finish it, and then I'll go on to another thing and then I'll start that, and then I'll do another thing and then I'll start that other thing and then not finish it, and then I'll start. It's like that's the creative curse. Okay. That's the creative curse because now you're more in your feminine energy. You're not able to be the closer, the decider. You need that yang now to be able to do that. Hey, to fire someone is yang energy. You can't like, really sorry to tell you this, but you what? You're trying to make them more empathetic, so you have to, you need someone to just go, I'm sorry, you're fired, right? You need that guy, man. And that's the thing. Who are you hiring and firing accordingly in terms of your spirit guides internally, but also the people in your life? Are you hiring and firing accordingly? Okay. Because what are you really measuring? What are you valuing in other people? You got to know this stuff, man. All right. What is the value? The perceived value is also important, right? So I like to have out of body experience where I'm remote viewing and I'm seeing myself like do some different task and really understand like weird idiosyncrasies that come up, right? Like I do that thing. Or like I really behave in that way. You know what I mean? And years later, you might get this with yourself. It's important to recognize that growth. That's when you know that you've grown, when you can't even recognize your past self, right? Where you start going, wait a sec, that's not even me, bro. Like that's some weird like jester lair or like weird like people pleaser lair or a strange like I'm trying to be tough lair or like a bizarre version of an entrepreneur lair, okay? Whatever it is, it's these archetypes, right? These layers are coming in. And if you've ever heard of this guy, right, Bane, right? Has he shown up in your ads, guys? He talks about layers, okay? Has Bane ever shown up in your ads? Okay, he's a dating coach. And he's like, I don't even brush my teeth and I get women, right? That's his ad. So I have something about reptile programming here too in here. How the reptilians are forming different plans. So if you guys want to know more about that too, as Uncle Makara, I am going to absolutely annihilate them in the astral. But then there's also good ones. So shout out to the good Draco that are actually preserving the planet. Okay. All right. So let's see here. All right. Is it in my downloads? Hmm. Let me just try pulling it up. Oh, here it is. Okay, cool. Fantastic. Right here. Shall we share this? No. Let me just read it out. Okay. I don't want to share his book. But I'm going to read a little bit about the spiritual layer. And I think you guys are really going to get this. Some of you are going to get hella triggered by this, and I like it. And I like it. Okay. Good. You should be triggered. Who's not triggering you on YouTube? Like, if you're listening to someone who's like validating your every move and like, hey, yeah, that's fine. Oh, that's great. That's fantastic. Yes, keep doing that. You know, fuck that person. Okay. They don't want the best for me. Okay. But then there's the too rude dude or gal, right? Why you gotta be so rude? Don't you know I'm human too? Okay. I don't like how the next part of that fucking song is like, I'm gonna marry her anyway, marry that girl, right? It's like, is that the answer, bro? To this guy being rude to you? Like, what the fuck? I get the song, right? By Magic. It's a great song. Don't get me wrong. But it's like, dang, bro. Okay, so let's read this. This is a deep layer zone for guys who are running out of copes, it says. Okay. Spotted, this was me in the past. Okay. Spotted wearing a man bun, a very deep V-neck shirt, and multiple wrist bracelets. Another addition is the bald, bearded, skinny, fat spiritual guy. Okay. They always make sure to keep the beard as unkempt and nasty looking as possible. Sometimes they're also camouflaged as a normal guy. You can see them at your local park, meditating and touching trees to absorb the energy, while listening to a certain frequency of sound in the headphones. The bald guy may even listen to hair regrowth affirmations along with it. Trust him, it works. Let's just listen. Just listen. Don't react to it yet, right? I already have something to say about this guy, but let's see what he has to say. Okay. And this is not my ego backfiring against it or whatever, because I've been the spiritual guy. I get it, right? I get where he's coming from. The real key is when we read a little later than this. Okay, hold on. These are some of the most unbearable people to be around. And let me tell you where this usually starts. I'm going monk mode is a common saying among guys I've met once in cold approach. Okay. Going hard, not approaching women, blah, blah, blah. This little namaste niche of guys. I'm just skipping through. I don't want to read all of his book, but this is for teaching purposes. Okay. And become one of those white chicks who moved to India. Okay. Please do, by the way. I'm very friendly. Look at trees all day to cope with her failure as a woman. She may find the spiritual guy appealing, introduce him to her vegan diet, chakras or crystals. I don't know exactly what they do. They walk around barefoot and stuff like that. Okay. This is the perception of most spiritual people. Okay, by the way. Let's expand this definition. Right? That's what we're here to do as Primal Sutra. Let's break through these weird stereotypes and become those powerful archetypes that we know that we are. Okay. Anybody have any comments in terms of what I've just read? Okay, shall I keep going? All right. The spiritual guy was a once young, driven man. Okay. His passion could have been channeled into removing these layers. Instead, what happened is, you know, talking about letting go. He made a YouTube live stream or something, talking about frequencies and so forth. Okay. Instead of fighting yourself each day, banging the guns and trying to get what you want romantically, you just give up. And not only give up, you convince yourself that this was the right thing to do all along. And that all of those guys who have a spark in their eye, a fire under their ass, need to insert cringe Buddhist quote about letting go. This is how he's describing it, right? Sticking feathers in your ass will not make you a chicken. Okay. I like that, bro. That's fucking cutthroat. Okay. I need to repeat myself because this is very important to understand. All this meditation, mindfulness, spirituality stuff is people trying to feel like the person with no layers without removing their layers. This is what I found interesting. Okay. It may look like scrambled eggs. It may smell like scrambled eggs, but it's probably not scrambled eggs, right? It's that thing. So real enlightenment is through removing layers, not more layers. Okay. Because adding layers is an attempt to remove the previous one. And that's like, okay, then there's another one after that. Okay. It's almost like the layers wrap around each other, right? Or weaving together. It's tantric in its nature. All of your archetypes, storylines, stereotypes about yourself, different ways that you see yourself in different ways, like from the eyes of society, from the eyes of your mother, from the eye of your one friend, from your eye of your another friend, from the eye of your, third eye, whatever it is, man. You know what I mean? There are these different ways. My advice for a spiritual guy, he says, is to be stopping toxically positive, trying to convince people how happy you are and go back to the drawing board. Shave that stupid beard off your face. Go back to what you're doing before without engaging in those layers previously making your life unbearable. Listen, man, that sounds like a lair, though. Bane, I'm going to be honest with you. Your aversion to spirituality and frequencies and even talking to trees, what's wrong with that, bro? You know what I mean? Like, these are things, these are all great things. You know, we're all listening to this like, whoa, this is a bad thing. Wait a minute, he meditates? That's so fucked up, right? It's like, what? Bro, we're not doing that, right? So anyway, Bane, right? It's funny. It's funny to you. Exactly. It's like, bro, like, I get it though. I get it. Everybody's trying to like out the other coaches or whatever. Bro, I'm not even playing in that field. You guys get that? I'm not even a coach. Fuck. You know, I understand that I've worked so hard to establish myself as an accredited coach or whatever. Bro, I just would rather just shine. You know what I mean? Fuck waiting for another accreditation, right? Stop procrastinating on your shit. Just fucking shine. Okay? Just follow your craft, the thing you know that you're good at, okay? That you understand this is a skill set that nobody else has, okay? That's why it's so powerful. So can you actually follow the beat of your own drum a little bit, is what I'm saying, bro. Okay? Because if you're feeling like ashamed around a topic or vulnerable around a topic, that's fine. To me, that's okay. But what the real curse after that is you're saying that that's not me, bro. When I cried last week, that guy wasn't me. Now you created a shadow for it. You've locked it up. You see what I'm saying? So own all of you. Fuck it. Okay. Ryan G, he was like, you know, I fucking like almost teared up listening to this guy sing a Mariah Carey song. And I was like, dang, bro. Kind of sus, but also dope, right? Dope AF. Because why? Nobody shares that shit. Everybody's pretending, right? Do you guys get that? This is all a show, one big performance. All these other YouTubers just talk like, hey, let me create a character and speak like this. And maybe I should hold my face in a very particular way and speak in this voice. So I sound even raspier than before. Okay. You're trying to be Batman? Okay. What if the girl was not even a 10? The other girl was 5. Fuck out of here. Okay. What are you talking about? Why are you classifying people into beauty codes? Okay. Bro, I met her. She was a 10. Okay. We use that, and that's the PUA language, right? Pickup artist language. That's what they use. This girl is a 10. Okay. You're the only 10 I see. Okay. That's the line. No, no, actually, pickup is amazing because it goes into the very psychology of female nature and women. Okay. And even women might be fascinated by some of the things that they read or understand based on this subculture, right? It's powerful, it's eye-opening, right? There's even been some female dating coaches who stream off of that understanding. I know there's quite a few, okay? So all of this stuff is to work and understand the human social dynamics even greater, right? And understanding a relationship can really be such a unique experience for every individual, right? Because your relationship code does not look like everybody else's, I'm afraid. Okay. It doesn't look like what you copy pasted from watching Bollywood or Hollywood or some Hallmark, you know, Valentine's card that you wrote to your crush in 4th grade. I don't care about that. I care about your relationship code right now. What is the framework that you have set for the relationships in your life? When do you know that the vibe is off? What are you measuring? I was challenged by one of my mentors earlier with this, you know? What are you actually like measuring? You know, like how do you know you people like this person is meant to stay in your life or not? You know, it's like even abuse feels familiar. Okay. So a lot of people they stay in these unhealthy dynamics, but it feels like familiar to them, right? And that's why they stay there. It's comforting to know that I'm that hurt. That's wild, right? But that's actually it. And it's heart-wrenching, really to think about it. But also think about this, we can really measure how much angst and hidden rage that there is in the people with this top-down system of like, the elite at the top and then everybody else, right? And now we're slowly seeing these old power structures shift, right? Energy shifting. So abundance is not going to look the same in a few years from now. You're going to have to latch on to whatever it is that you're knowing is going to be a new earth job. Okay. The old earth jobs are gone now. Okay. Someone could start an AI agency nowadays. Okay. So you got to understand how to move with the times as a shaman, not get left in the dust. Because I've done that before too. I only like the old school stuff. That's when you get hella hipster too, bro. Like I used to be that hipster, bro. I like this kind of eclectic underground rap. Like, fuck out of here, bro. Listen to some Gucci Mane, some shit. Break out of that weird shell. Right? Brrr. All right? And if you're the guy who only listens to like pop songs, look up the weirdest, most like world music that you can find, right? Like from some country you've never even heard the name of. Find that out. Today, bro, I was listening to something. I was listening to this guy, bro. It's like I think well, his artist name is Muslim. Okay, so we already know it's gonna be a bobber. Okay, a kebabber. All right, let's go. I gotta speed it up because YouTube otherwise might copyright strike this. Um, I hope that's fine with you guys. I just want to share this, right? Um, okay. It is what it is, man. If you guys caught it live, you caught it live. It's gonna happen sometimes. We gotta share. It's like, freedom of speech. Okay. Listen to this, bro. I'm speeding it up, but just listen to this. This would amp you up.
بس تزاول يا ابني تلاشى ابو المسالك غيرك حاول بس تزاول يا ابني تلاشى ابو المسالك قلبك نايم هاجري وحايل سهلك قدام صعب تبقى زاوي صعب تبقى زاوي صعب تبقى زاوي عيني على الكاريزما عيني على الثبات قاعد هنا
Okay. Gang shit.
ومسمعها هنا عيون مش خضرا وليه بقدر ارقص عضله اوقف عضله يا وعدي ومن بعد هيجيني المو جنبي بياخد اللقطه محدش فيجي
Okay. Like, dang, bro. Okay. I'm sure he's saying some bars that I have no idea what he's saying, but just the sounds in that, right? As a technical, more audio shaman, I just love different sounds and energies and frequencies that I can play with, right? And create like different audio files and different products. I've also created this subliminal for Indian men and women for basically getting rid of the famine mindset of the skinny fat physique for Indians. I really want to get rid of that stereotype, so I'm working towards well, I have already made it, so you guys can purchase it if you want, okay? It's a very powerful sound file. If you ever are interested and you're listening to this, just shoot me a message and we can get to it. Okay. Did I close the chat? No, okay, it's still here. All right, guys. Oh, we're still watching. Cool. All right, future ascended masters. Let's understand a few things. What does money mean to you? Okay. Write down the word money and then just write down a few things that come up. Maybe it's stocks. Maybe it's the word check, like writing a check. Maybe it's the word finance. Maybe it's the word power. You will know based on the words that you get that that's your money code. Okay. That's what you really think of money. So I want you to write down the good, the bad, and the ugly. Okay. Whatever you have around money, your qualms with it. Okay. Your random, you know, ways that you push it away. Okay. You see other people with wealth and then you start to judge them. Okay. You don't know the journey they've been through. You haven't walked in their shoes and you look at them from afar, like them having that or them doing that. And then you think that's why they're like that. And these people are bad. These people are this. These people are materialistic. These people are too vain or whatever. Okay. Whereas really, we all just want the same thing, bro. We want acceptance and love, you know? And we're doing it, we're masking it and distorting it through different ways. When that's just the truth of our own hidden nature, is that we are that. So why are you trying to chase something that you already are? You already are awareness and you're trying to get more aware. You are that pure awareness. You just got to bring it back to here, right? Imagine your pair of eyes in your brain was down here. Now you're embodied. You guys get that? That was a gold nugget. Holy shit, right? That was a random golden nugget that just came from nowhere, but that's brilliant. This is why I work with many different guides. I've actually been working with Masar Swati quite recently and her energy, and I've loved that energy, man. This just is such a powerful, creative rocket fuel type of energy that basically it reminds me why I'm a philosopher, right? Because the word philosophy, I'm not like philosophizing and staying in the mental realm, because the mental realm will tell you, right? If you've been scrolling TikTok for about 2 hours, that's the mental realm. That's the spiritual realm, right? You got to beware of that because you're like scrolling the phone and then you're like, and you're double tapping means you're giving energy to that egregore, that thought form, right? So you're going through, and then you're like, man, I'm so drained. Bro, that's what you've been doing for hours. You get what I mean? So you got to call it out. You got to call it out when it's going like that. You know, you got to be like, I want to create some content myself, you know, move into it. But then that's another trap too. So you got to sometimes you just got to be like, nope. All right, doing my own thing. All right. Now you can still post on Instagram and so forth. I still post, right? It's a good way to keep in touch with your business partners, with different people, you know, different students of yours. So it's just a good platform to connect with others, you know, and like hear other people's perspectives, not just create a media outlet. Okay. Like it's just like pictures, one picture, another picture, another picture, another picture. What's social about that? Okay. Why is that social media? I want to connect with it. If you're talking about Prague, I want to get the feeling that I need to be there too, you know? And that's why people put on this kind of like social media mask, like, oh, I'm like this, I'm like that, I'm like this, I'm like that. And I do it too. And what I'm doing right now is I'm observing it in me, right? And it was always there within me. And I understand how to put on my social media hat and like obviously do that thing. But then there's also the realness, you know, underneath everything. The character who's just been that still observer that still keeps watching this whole entire thing happen, right? The one who's just a hologram that just stays there, even when the whole world comes crashing down and stops. Okay, it's that. It's that confidence and confidence of that eternity of wealth. Okay, this is why studying about the mysticism of wealth, right? And how like studying Kuberaji or Lakshmi, you know, or these other, you know, agricultural deities even are associated with wealth and fertility too, right? So it's just important in general to do your own research about wealth deities. Let's look up the top wealth deities. I think we're going to do that. Okay. Oh, there's ones for fortune, obviously. Okay. Let's just do Wikipedia. It'll just be easier. Ah, Ryan G is asking a question. How do we gather more life forces, humans in general? We got to breathe in from the earth. We got to have our feet nostrils. Okay. Um, okay. List of. Okay. All right. Guys, can you see this? Okay, hopefully you guys can see this. So we have Lakshmi, Kubera, Ganesha, Alakshmi. Oh, there's a goddess of misfortune too. Little did you know. Okay. Prosep, goddess of wealth. Prapon Chaya Mongol. Okay. I completely butchered that. Gotta call Little Swan to help me speak Thai. Pranang Tum Chaya. Wife of Prachum Chaya Mongol. I used to live in Thailand, by the way, guys. So. Okay. Had to hear that a lot. Chinese folk religion and Taoism. Okay. Kai Shen, Zhao Zhongming. That's it. Okay, let me just muscle test these and see which one is relevant for us. For this particular month, let me muscle test. Okay, I will check out Zhao Gongming. Seems relevant. God of wealth and Chinese folk. The essence of the sun. Okay. Hey, China is one of the wealthiest planets. Planets, I'm saying. Imagine if China was a planet, bro. That'd be fucking wild. uh, one of those crazy places that just, and in a good way. I mean, just like wild depth for its celestial beings. All right, so, man, okay, Taoist understanding of the Zhao Gongming. Then let's take it into Mahayana. Srima Devi, Vaishravana, Benzanta. Nope. Sudara. Oh, we already work with Jambola. Okay. Especially Ryan G. He's the Buddhist deity of fortune and wealth. A very powerful deity, man. He's believed to be the emanation of Avalokiteshvara, who you might know as Kuan Yin from another path working. And, so he's already connected to compassion. So notice that, right? It means to honor. Precious golden deity who brings wealth or spirituality, material security to the accomplishment of our lives. Okay. So, hey, the Buddhists saw this as an important facet to life too. Okay. And you thought, right, sitting back, like, oh, yeah, all Buddhists, they don't care about money. They don't care about, man, they have a whole deity associated with it. Okay. The 5 Jambalas practices in bodhicitta. Okay. The practice can remove poverty within the 6 realms. Woo-hoo-hoo! We got to do this, Ryan G. I don't know how we're going to do it, but we're going to do it. Okay? Let's do it for our path working. I'll figure it out. I'll talk to my dad. We'll figure something out. Okay? All right. Any other ones that I just want to look at if there's anything else? Nope. I think we're good. Heracles, Hermes. We work with a few of these beings. It's lucky, 7 lucky gods. Okay. Turatati is Saraswati. That's why I clicked on it. I was like, dang. All right. So yeah, this seems like a Thai version of Saraswati. Or no, Myanmar. Sorry, Burmese. My bad. It's a Burmese version of Saraswati. And well, that's her origin. So Saraswati created her, but I'm sure she's she's a golden hintao. It's a hintao. It's a swan. I'm gonna send this to Little Swan. Little Swan, if you're watching this, um, yeah, I'm gonna send this over to her. I think there's some weird thing here, some connection. Okay. All right, guys. Sweet. So there we go. Amazing. Anybody have any questions? Any, thing that you're just like, man, I really need to know the answer. Uncle Makara probably knows. Okay. All right, all right. Hold on. Let me just. Okay. Let's get it. All right, guys. This has been fun. Okay. This has been a lot of fun. I hope you guys have an incredible day. I'm going to get to work. Back to revision time. Here we go. Upward spiral to infinity and beyond. And may we never be the same again. Wassa. Much love to you. Keep crushing it, okay? I'll see you in the astral.